Assalamu alaikum and welcome to my channel for the long course of Raspberry Pi. In this video series, I will try to teach you from A to Z about Raspberry Pi. So without further ado, let's get started. Before starting this course, you need some basic knowledge about Python programming language and electronics. The Raspberry Pi is a low-cost credit card-sized computer that plugs into a computer, monitor or TV and uses a standard keyboard and mouse. It is a capable little device that enables people of all ages to explore computing and to learn how to program in languages like Scratch and Python. It is capable of doing almost everything what you can do in your personal computer, like internet browsing, or making spreadsheets, making word processing, or playing video games, and lots more. Let's have a look at the Raspberry Pi board, and this is the Raspberry Pi 4 Model B. It has 5.5 cm in width and 8.5 cm in length. It has two USB 2.0, two USB 3.0 port where you can connect keyboard or mouse or any pen drive, and one Ethernet port where you can connect internet to the board. This is the audio jack where you can connect speaker or microphone, and those two are micro HDMI port where you can connect computer monitor or TV monitor, and this is the camera port where you can connect Raspberry Pi camera like this. This is the Type-C power input port. With this port you have to power the board with 5-volt adapter. This is display port where you can connect Raspberry Pi display, and this is Bluetooth, and this is RAM where you can choose 1GB, 2GB, 4GB or even 8GB RAM, and this is the main processor of Raspberry Pi. And this is the micro SD card slot. Those are 40 GPIO or general purpose input output pin where you can connect a LED, motor or a sensor and lots more, and can make your own interesting project with the help of this GPIO pin. Now have a closer look at those GPIO pin. Those pins are quite similar to your Arduino input-output pin. The first version of Raspberry Pi was Raspberry Pi B. It was released on 15 February 2012. Its price $35. It has 512 MB RAM, 700 MHz clock speed, and 2 USB ports. Next version is Raspberry Pi A+. It released on 10 November 2014. It has 256 MB RAM, clock speed 700 MHz, and 1 USB port. Next version is Raspberry Pi 2. It released on 2 February 2015. It has 1GB RAM, 900 MHz clock speed, 4 USB 2.0 port. Next version is Raspberry Pi Zero. It released on 30 November 2015. Its price is only $5, and it has 512 MB RAM, 1 GHz clock speed, and 1 micro OTG port. Next version is Raspberry Pi 3. It released on 29 February 2016. It has 1GB DDR2 RAM, 1.2 GHz clock speed, and 4 USB port. Next version is Raspberry Pi 0W. It released on 28 February 2017. Its price only $10. RAM 512 MB, 1 GHz clock speed, and 1 micro OTG port. Next version is Raspberry Pi 0WH. It is same as Raspberry Pi 0W, but its GPIO pin is already soldered. Next version is Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, one of the most popular version of Raspberry Pi. It released on 14 March 2018. It has 1GB DDR2 RAM, 1.4 GHz 6 clock speed and 4 USB port. Next version is Raspberry Pi 3A Plus. It released on 15 November 2018. It has 512 MB DDR2 RAM, 1.4 GHz clock speed and 4 USB port. Next version is Raspberry Pi 4B. It is the most popular version of Raspberry Pi. It released on 24 June 2019. Its RAM is choosable 1, 2 or 4 GB DDR4. It has 1.5 GHz clock speed. It has 2 USB 2.0, 2 USB 3.0 and 1 USB-C type OTG port. This is Raspberry Pi 4 with 8GB RAM. It released on 28 May 2020. Its price is $75 US. And this is the latest version of Raspberry Pi, Raspberry Pi 400. It released on 2 November 2020. Its price is $75 US. It's basically the Raspberry Pi 4B with keyboard and upgraded clock speed. Its clock speed is 1.8 GHz. Now I will talk about the use of Raspberry Pi. What can we do with Raspberry Pi? What people are doing with Raspberry Pi? Basically, firstly, it was invented as a computer learning kit for the children. But gradually it's become more popular for its small size and low cost. Now it's greatly used in hacking sector. It is also used where you cannot use your big personal computer, like a computerized telescope. You can also use it as your personal computer with keyboard, mouse and monitor connected. Or you can use it as a tablet by connecting a touchscreen display with it. You can make a simple LED blinking project. You just need some code uploaded in it and connecting the LED as your code. Or you can make some IoT based project, or a weather station, or a autonomous drone, and or a self-driving car, or your personal virtual assistant, or any object detection project with OpenCV, or a simple robot, or a complete humanoid robot like Richie. That's all for today. See you in my next video. Till then, goodbye.